a little bit about yourself, like in one word, if you're a student, a working professional, a business owner, seller, or someone who's just AI curious. Please let us know so that we can get the vibe of our audience. That will help us to drive our meeting today. Lovely. We have students here already. Do we have any business owners, any sellers in the hall? Oh, we have freelancers here. Come on, everyone, let's put into the chat. We have a lot of AI enthusiasts, businessmen. It's wonderful to see so many of you join on a Sunday morning at 11 a.m., leaving your leisure time aside and investing time towards your learning and growth. So happy to see that. Okay, without any further ado, let me quickly share my screen and set the context for today, and we can get started. Yeah, hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so just to set some context, how today's session is going to be on how to leverage AI and automation in e-commerce. And this is very interesting because in this new AI era, businesses are really changing the way they deal with. So, the way they compete, the way they operate, and also the way that they scale themselves, right? So, AI is really helpful in doing all of that. So, today's session is just about that. And we are so fortunate to have someone who's at the forefront of this, someone who's leading us and someone who is setting an example to us that businesses have to adapt to this change as early as possible. So, IPN and our audience is very humbled and honored to have you here, Nakash. Thank you so much for joining us. And just to get started with, maybe I would like to introduce Nakash to every one of you. So Nakash is a co-founder and director at Invi, and he has been helping the e-commerce businesses to leverage AI and AI automation tools to leverage their businesses, scale their businesses, and also to help them saving some percentage from the revenue cut that they were getting. So we are very keen to know how was your journey, Nakash, there? And we would like to know about yourself in your own words. Over to you, Nakash.
Thank you, Kiran. That was some heavy introduction that you have given. Uh, so I would like to thank IPN Hyderabad for having me today. And I would like to thank all of you for taking the time on a Sunday morning to join. I'll try to do my best to keep it informative and interesting at the same time. So a little bit about me. I am the co-founder of Invi. It is a SaaS-based software, which is more like a command center for e-commerce sellers. So we have various tools, right from reconciliations to order management uh, and ads automation, etc. So we are centered around AI in e-commerce industry, AI and automation in e-commerce industry. And a little bit about my background. I have a bachelor's in business from USA, which I finished in 2013. And then I've come back to India and started as a footwear seller, which I did for about 10 years. So I have been an e-commerce seller as well for a decade. And after that, from my learnings, I ventured into AI automation and I founded Invi. So that is a little bit about me.
That's wonderful to hear. Like you being a seller, you have identified some problem and then you work towards, you have taken some actionable steps to resolve it. I think that's where many of us hesitate. So we do identify the problem, but then we hesitate to take next actions towards it. So thank you for introducing yourself, Nakash. With that said, we can move to our next question. What first drew you towards this e-commerce industry? Was it just that idea, that curiosity, or do you just wanted to solve that problem, or was it something else that um, came up to your mind?
So if I have to be very honest about this answer, ऐसा कोई deep calling नहीं था. It was 2013. I had just returned from US, and I was 23 years old. One thing was clear that I did not want to do a corporate job, so I was looking for a business. My family was into traditional business. My father was into cotton ginning, so those didn't interest me. So I was looking for something, which was more, youth focused or where we could use our computer skills, etc., to grow. So I was looking at a business opportunity where I could, which was a bit more modern. And that's when there was this whole boom of AI, sorry, not AI, the whole boom of e-commerce. Amazon had entered India, Flipkart was opening up its marketplace model. So I thought, okay, this is a good business to try, to be honest. I didn't know it's going to become my calling. But yeah, so that's how I actually got into e-commerce. So I had some family who was into footwear. So I thought, let's try footwear trading on e-commerce. And I sourced from them and I started selling on Amazon and Flipkart. And yeah, since then I've been kind of living, breathing, and eating e-commerce every day.
Wow, that's wonderful to know, Nakash. Like, I'm sure many of us in the audience would relate because at the age of 23, we just graduate and we're all freshers with fresh minds. And I'm so glad that, you were very honest when it came to, what actually drew you. It was just like, oh, okay, it's sheer hard work, it's plain hard work and nothing else.
You
Uh,
could say that. Yeah.
yeah. Could you give us some idea about what Invi does? What are the actual problem that Invi solves for the sellers, for the businesses out there?
Sure. So before I get into what Invi does, let me tell you some of the challenges that an e-commerce seller might face. So one of the very basic challenges is financial and the returns reconciliation. So imagine a seller, उसको around दिन के 100 to 150 orders आ रहे हैं. Okay, so on day one he gets 100 orders. Up Amazon will say I will pay you after 15 days. Flipkart will say I'll pay you after 12 days. Meesho will say I'll pay you after 7 days, 10 days. So everybody has a different payment cycle. And they just directly, if you sold it for 100 rupees, doesn't mean you will get the entire 100 rupees back. They will deduct their commission, shipping, and some other charges, and they'll send the remaining balance to you. So imagine now you are sending out 100 orders, and then you have to wait for the payment for those 100 orders. You have to see if Flipkart ne kab diya. Then if they gave it, did you get paid for each and every order? Was it accurate? So they send you this heavy Excel files which you have to go through. Now, if you're a small seller, yeah, it is easy to reconcile if you have good basic Excel knowledge. But imagine when you start growing and scaling. Instead of 100, if you're doing 1,000 orders a day, uh, then one day 1,000, another day 1,000. So at the end of the week, you have almost 8,000 orders to reconcile. Of course, Excel reconciliation is possible, but then it becomes very slow and the accuracy starts dropping. So that's where we built Invi. One of the problems that Invi solves is that we automate your reconciliation, as in we directly start fetching all the data from all these marketplaces like Flipkart, Amazon on your behalf, and we tell you that okay, you have been paid correctly, or whether these portals have taken some extra charges from you. I'll get into the charges a little later, but yeah, this is one of the core problems that Invi solves. To put it simply, did you get paid accurately? And did you get paid at all? And third is, did you get your returns delivered back to you? So a lot of times returns are lost in transit. So when you sell, you also expect that you'll get about 20%, 25% returns back. And not all the returns are delivered back. There is obviously logistics issues and the parcels may get misplaced. So did you get them back? Sometimes no. Did you get reimbursed for those lost shipments? No. So then that's where we identify those leakages and we help you recover the money. That's one of the core problems. And apart from that, we also have other tools where we help you manage your inventories, your ads management, order management, etc. So these are the kind of problems that Invi solves for an e-commerce seller.
Thank you so much, Nakash, for walking us through. I think it was very insightful. The very fact that not all businesses are around innovation. Few successful businesses actually solve the real world problems and the real challenges. And I think this manual work, which the Invi tries to solve, right? Like it's a day to day job that is being solved by a automated tool, wherein user doesn't have to go through everything in the Excel, and it avoids a lot of manual intervention, I'm sure. And definitely, that's something good to know that your product is solving that for the customers. Having said that, um, you mentioned about few of the hidden charges that that we miss out on, that businesses or the sellers, then they are unaware that that there is some cut that is happening in middle. So how do you identify what are those hidden charges, if you can explain a bit in detail?
Sure. So I think e-commerce has evolved now. So I wouldn't say that sellers are unaware, but again, it's difficult for them to find good solutions around it. So I'll give you my example. When I started out, how did I come across these hidden charges? Okay, so these are two personal anecdotes. So first was that हमको जो warehouse में returns आते थे, right? We those returns were bought by these courier boys, and I was selling footwear. So I started noticing that they are wearing these brand new shoes that we are selling, and obviously, ठीक है, you bought one, but after a week he's coming wearing a brand new pair again, and then a week later I see another boy wearing another brand new pair, and I wonder these guys are getting paid 12,000 to 15,000. तो ये लोग 1,500 रुपए के जूते अफोर्ड कैसा कर रहे हैं, that too so frequently. So I thought that something is happening. I mean, and they don't work for me. So कहीं clearly हमारे पास से तो चोरी नहीं हो रही है, but कहीं और से लीकेज हो रहा है. And that's when I started digging the whole returns part as to how they are tracking it and what actually happens, how portals handle the returns. तब पता चला कि portals declare a lot of returns as undelivered, कि ये deliver नहीं हुए हैं, and even though the time has 60 70 days have lapsed and you've still not got it back. So at that point, you have to start raising claims with the portal. Ki bhai, I have not got it back. Please give me my money. And that's when they'll give you the money. So they will not proactively acknowledge ki, yeah, this is lost. Even if they acknowledge, they do not reimburse, except Amazon, which is good, but the rest of them do not. So at that point, that was one of the hidden charges that I noticed. It was, I mean, when I did my reconciliation after finding this leakage, the figure was close to 4 lakh rupees in 3 months. That was the hidden charges that I paid. Another was out of the blue, I noticed that one day my commission on a footwear has to be around 8%, but I was being charged 10% by Flipkart. And then I went and checked with Flipkart and they said, yeah, this is an error at our end. So we'll, of course, reimburse you for wherever we have overcharged you. So then I had to actually go back, and that figure was also another 1.5 lakhs. So that's when I realized these hidden charges are, I mean, technically they're not supposed to be there, but they are hidden in plain sight. Portals are going to charge you various fees, five to six different fee heads, and it could be hidden in any of them. So ideally, we have to reconcile each and every one of the fee heads. to actually figure out what are these hidden charges. Uh, I'd like to apologize to the audience. I have a hoarse throat today, so my voice modulation might differ.
All good.
Yeah.
But thank you for walking us through, Nakash. Like it was a very powerful example, especially coming this from you, because you not only identified the problem, but you were like, I want to save others also from falling into this pitfall, and that is where true businesses lead to success or find their ways to get the right set of customers. One thing which is very interesting, and I think many of the sellers in the audience might also relate to it, that they might not even be aware of these leakages which you're talking about, because it might be little by little, right? Drop by drop, they are getting a cut from their revenue. And I think businesses is not just about having a good revenue, but rather also saving or keeping an eye on where are those leakages, where are those minor leakages present in the pipeline. So thank you so much for sharing that very powerful example from your end. Uh,
Mhm.
for those of you who are new to this concept, how would you define AI and automation in the concept of running an online business? How would you recommend them to get started on this path?
Okay, so first look at what automation is. Automation is nothing but where you expect the computer to do a repetitive task for you, right? So it could be basically कोई एक rule based task होता है which you expect that example मुझे सुबह 9 बजे orders process करने हैं, so you will set some automation की every day 9 o'clock process orders. So these are called automations, okay, where there are certain rules and you know that this is a repetitive action. इसमें और कोई judgment involved नहीं है, कोई decision making नहीं है. It's just a simple. So we call it automation कि ठीक है इसको आप automate कर दो rather than relying on a human or you rather doing it manually. Now, what is AI? Okay, so AI is, in my terms, it is basically a software which has a sense of making judgment on your behalf based on the previous data that it has collected. And it keeps collecting data on an ongoing basis. So basically, it is a learning model and it is constantly updating itself. तो इससे क्या हो रहा है कि now you have a combination of AI and automation. So now you can start automating tasks which had required decision making. Example ले लो तो demand forecasting कि मुझे next 2 months में कितना manufacture करना है या कितना inventory procure करना है. So these are some tasks which now earlier automation could not solve it by itself. So we can now bring in AI. AI can start, uh, AI with a combination of automation. Now you can start solving these complex problems of a business. And it could be not only limited to e-commerce, but it could be across any platform. I mean, be it any business, we can now start using AI and automation and leverage this. So important thing that we all need to know that today uh, automation is like a plumbing, moving data from one place to another. And then AI is like a brain. So it's basically going to help you take small decisions on your behalf. So you actually then can start focusing on other things in your business. So you can treat AI as an assistant, and with combination of automation, you get an AI automation, or you can build an agent. So yeah, in today's day, I think in e-commerce industry, if I talk, it has heavy use cases. Heavy, I mean, we'll get into use cases later on, but yeah, uh, there are a lot of ways you can automate your business today.
Thank you. I think this is very insightful, and thank you for simplifying this process for us and letting us know that any process that is monotonous, which is very repetitive, can be automated now via AI, and it has evolved to a point wherein it does not require manual intervention. That's very good to know. And also the very fact that, not every humans don't have to spend their entire time on making these small decisions or doing these tasks which are very tedious in nature.
I
Uh,
would like to add to this, sorry to interrupt.
sure.
So earlier, I mean, to start an e-commerce business or any business, we required a slew of manpower with us, and we required a team for ads agencies, and we required a production handling team, etc. But now, if you start following the news, you see that businesses are built by a one-person team who's basically used AI automations and built agents. So I recently read an article where somebody's built a $1 billion revenue company, a single guy sitting in his home using AI and automation. So he built an online business. So yeah, that's what has changed today. Earlier in my time, 10 years ago, when we had to build an e-commerce business, we needed to have a team. Now the whole the team part is getting minimized because a lot of work is now being taken up by the second brain which you have. That's called AI.
Lovely. That's lovely to hear. So that means you can now delegate your tasks to AI tools and they work with you as your team. And that also saves some money for the business owners that they spend on the salaries of these middlemen. And I think that's a threat for the people who are not very familiar with AI and they who are not utilizing AI in their tasks. I think they should start doing that. If not, they'll be getting replaced by our smart AI agents.
True.
Now that brings us to the next question. So today we have so many people, they are still following the traditional way of business, right? And their first step is, they're very hesitant to update this AI, thinking that they're not tech savvy people. So in that case, for any seller who's currently managing everything manually, what is this one thing that you would recommend automating first?
Uh, if somebody who's in e-commerce, I would suggest you go after automating your reconciliation because that's where money is. If your money is, money issues are plugged, that means you have more money to grow, you have more profits, your bottom line is improved. And then you can start focusing on how to automate your operations. So ideally, start with where the money is. That's how I have gone about it, and I think it's worked for me. So that is one advice that I would give other sellers also. So you can actually automate each and every uh, department in your e-commerce business, right from cataloging to reconciliation to inventory management. There is automation available for each and everything. And with the whole AI, you can create agents, you can create workflows. So if you ask me personally where we should focus, I would focus on where the money leakages are first. Once you plug that, then you move to the operations. And then we can get into the more complex nuances of the business like demand forecasting, chat, customer chat support, dynamic pricing, etc.
Got it. Perfect. I think that also answers our next question, which is one real world example that would save our time. It's going to be reconciliation and take care of your finances first, and then we can try to automate our operations, right?
Right. So I have an example for this. I have a seller who's using our tool and he's using various other tools.
Okay.
So he is basically, when I met him about a year ago, he told me he's 28 years old. He's based out of Surat and he started his journey of e-commerce in 2021, right after COVID. So at that point, he started selling apparels. He was selling about 40 to 50 units a day. Today, he's reached to the scale of selling 10,000 units a day. And his company's revenue recently crossed 100 crores. So this young chap of 28 years old went from 40 orders to 10,000 orders. Now, clearly, he couldn't have done it without automations and without the AI coming into the picture. And even today, he constantly, keeps updating himself with AI. So if I actually deep dive into his business, I remember he came to us in 2023, asking how, can you start financial reconciliation? And started noticing that we are saving him close to 4 to 5 lakh rupees a month. So that's one thing he plugged. Then he moved to another good WMS, warehouse management system, for his business. And he started automating the whole operations, processing orders, packing the orders. And he's streamlined the entire thing where he manages this 10,000 orders in a staff of about 80 people, which when he started was at around 200. Today, the same things are happening with a staff of 80. So you can see that he is leveraging the automations and AI and in each and every aspect of his business, and that is freeing him and giving him the time to grow. So in today's day, when we have the tools काफी सस्ते हैं, to just to take a very basic subscription of ChatGPT or Claude or anything, it is just $20, which is about 2,000 rupees. Or these things are doing the work of, and easily a manpower of, a person of say, 50-60,000 rupees वाला काम ये 2,000 रुपए में करके दे रहे हैं. So today we have the means, we have the technology. So we should also start automating and, not only e-commerce, I suggest that our Jamaat should start looking at their business and see where and how we can automate, because it's possible in each and every business today.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that insight with us, Nakash. I think with that example, many of our audiences will have a lot of questions in terms of which AI tools to use, what are the subscription options, is it worth it or not? So, for all the audiences and the attendees, I request you to kindly park your questions in the chat section so that we don't forget to collect them as we move forward. Right? And so, yeah, when it comes to adopting these tools, again, this is a reassuring question. Does it really require some technical expertise at our end, or is it like any person can leverage an AI tool just by following some YouTube videos and educating themselves?
Uh, I mean, the clear answer is no. You do not need any technical expertise today to start using AI in its very basic form. So, if I would say my example again, I do not have any coding experience. I have a bachelor's in business. I do not even understand a single line of code today, but I run a software company. I have built automations for myself because today it is possible with, there are companies like Zapier, Make, N10. If you are familiar with AI and automation, then you will hear these names. But if you're not, then I suggest that you start looking at YouTube videos for these. They are nothing but they sound complex, but kuch complex nahi hai. It's very simple to start automating things in a small ways. So yeah, you do not require any technical expertise, at least initially. And then later on, when you want to build complex models, of course, we have uh, help which we can get. We have in our Jamaat, I know Renish, who's the IPN chairman. He builds agents. So, we can reach out to people like them to help us actually scale them. But yeah, initially we don't require any technical expertise.
Lovely. That is certainly reassuring to hear that for many people, I guess. So yeah, we don't need any technical expertise. All you need is to research about a lot of tools which will help you automate. And few examples have been already given by Nakash. So the next step is to explore them. Any one common mistake that you can share with us, Nakash, that you have seen in your experience um, whenever people try to expand their businesses on these online platforms like Amazon and Flipkart? What is one common mistake that they make?
Uh, what the mistake that I made was I treated all of them equally. That's not true. Every e-commerce platform has its own different ways of doing business. They have their own different financial, uh, what do you call these, the commissions and the shipping fees. They all differ portal to portal. So if you say कि मैं एक ही item 100 रुपए का सब जगह बेचूंगा और मुझे same margin मिलेगा, no, that's not going to happen. So that's one very common mistake that, initially when people start selling online, that's the mistake they make, but I'm sure they learn immediately within the first month or two. But yeah, so if you are somebody who's just looking to enter e-commerce, then I would say you can save your time here. Also, before taking on any new channels or new channel partners, like you're going to Myntra or Nykaa, it is very important to understand their policies of payments and their how clear their commission structure or the shipping structures are. Sometimes it gets very tricky to understand, and there are a lot of hidden charges, RTO charges, customer return charges. So I would again reiterate that always focus on the money first, and then you start scaling on the different marketplaces.
Wonderful. So I think the best way to learn is to learn from others' mistakes. And I think one takeaway from your explanation is like not to treat all the platforms equally, rather go research about it, get to know their policies, and only then make informed decisions around it. So that is one thing. Coming to the next question, now, what advice would you give someone looking to start their own e-commerce business today? Because I've like you have mentioned earlier that there was someone who has scaled his business to a point wherein he went from 50 orders to 200 orders plus. Every one of each one of us, I think we are very curious to know how can we scale our business today?
Okay, so someone I see e-commerce is again a very good business to be in because no barriers to entry. Capital ज़्यादा नहीं लगता है. You can, it's not like you have to take a retail shop and then have minimum commitments of a rent or anything. E-commerce में you can at least start exploring with a very minimum capital. तो अगर आपके पास products है तो you will have to bear expenses only when you sell them. So, it's a very good business to start in, low barrier to risk, and it's open for all. So there are no restrictions to entry. Now, how to enter? I mean, so it depends. If you are a retailer, then I know you have at least 100 different products. I suggest don't list all 100 at once. You start listing a few every day. You start seeing some traction, and then you start growing slowly. Isme you have to start focusing on advertisements, and you have to start focusing on how to solidify your operations, because ये operations heavy industry है. uh, from morning till night you have packages going in, packages coming back to you in returns, you have your stock coming in. और इधर सब timely होता है because all the portals के जो pickup partners होते हैं, they give you a certain time in which they will come and pick up your parcels. So आपको आपके सारे orders within a certain time frame ready करने होते हैं. So I would suggest that when you start small, with only a few products. You focus heavily on advertising those products and building an audience. And at the same time, you start building your backbone, which is your operations. Usko धीरे धीरे start strengthening it, start automating it, and also bring in AI from day one into your business. I would say, example, पहले list कोई भी marketplace पे list करने के लिए we need professional photographs. अभी फोटोग्राफी के लिए earlier we used to go to a photographer. If you are selling clothes, then you will go hire a model, pay 500 rupees. But in today's day, we have AI. You can just use Claude Cowork, uh, give them 5 sample reference images, and give them the image of your own product with a normal phone that you have. Click करके दे दो और उसको बोलो that create a Amazon hero listing or something and give me these 5 angles. Within 15 minutes you'll have your images ready. So this is just one example. Similarly, there are a lot of things that you can start using AI and now start your e-commerce business. So I'm happy to actually discuss it at length later on with somebody who's interested. But yeah, there is a lot you can actually do using AI, and that's how it'll help you in starting your e-com business.
Wonderful. I think that answers a lot of our questions on how to get started. So thank you for mentioning about Claude Cowork. I think all of us are making a mental note of it. Moving to the next question. Looking back at your own journey, I think you've shared it with us. One lesson or one valuable practice that you would recommend to our audience.
Uh, okay. From again, over it's been 13 years now in business. Now, be it as an e-commerce seller or be it as running a software company today, and also looking at my parents or colleagues or from different industries. One thing that I've learned is uh, from day one, I think we should all have a sight on our top line and bottom line. तो टॉप लाइन मतलब आपका रेवेन्यूज क्या है और आपके बॉटम लाइन व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आर यू मेकिंग यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स क्या है दीज आर सम नंबर्स दैट basically a real time financial dashboard should be your priority from day one is what I have learned, and that's what I've put into practice lately. Because if we start chasing top line and not look at your profits, then very easily you can run into losses. So I'll give you one example with this. So there is a seller of ours. Uh, he sells these headphones and stuff on Flipkart. Now he's selling a volume of close to 4 lakh units a month. Okay, 4 lakh pieces महीने के. That's a huge volume. उसमें से एक उसका headphone था, that was the top seller, and he was selling close to 1 lakh units every month. So when he did his financial reconciliation at an order, at an item level कि मैं ये एक SKU में मेरा margin कितना है, and it turned out that because उसका return rates इतना high था, that he was actually losing 3 rupees a piece, and he immediately then took action on it and plugged it. So, but he had to bear losses for close to 2 months because he was not keeping a track of these numbers daily. So, from his example and from my own experiences and looking around, I feel from day one, no matter what your things are, your finances have to be clear. Keep what my top line is, bottom line kya hai, item wise, what am I making, not making. So whatever industry you're in, I feel this is one very important lesson that I've learned, and I have implemented it very heavily in my business today.
Lovely. I think that's a very important lesson for us. The pattern that I'm noticing is it's very important to keenly monitor your business than focusing on quickly scaling it, right? So that's very helpful to know. Now, Nakash, thank you so much for explaining and answering all our questions. Before we leave the room for audience, any final advice? I think you've already told that, having a financial dashboard will be very helpful to us, but any other final piece of advice or anything that you would like to share or leave our attendees with before we move to the Q&A section?
Sure. So what I'd like to say today is that this whole fireside chat was more on AI and automation. So what I would say is that treat them as multipliers to your business. They are not going to fix your business. So treat them as additional hands of help that you have. They are available at, now they're available very easily without any technical knowledge. So start using them in your day-to-day lives. And trust me, it is just going to get better each and every day, and it's going to keep growing. So if we lose out on this today, we are going to stay behind. So focus on AI. If not in your business, I would suggest even in your day-to-day lives, for even tiny, automating your personal tasks, I would suggest you start using AI. You start using automations. IPN is doing a number of courses on AI. So if you need any help, I'm sure you can reach out to your IPN team. But yeah, start using AI, start amplifying your business with AI. And every business, what I have shared today is my knowledge based on the experiences that I have had. Lekin every business will have a unique, different need for AI. So I suggest that we all start looking at our businesses. We start understanding where we need automations, where we need AI to come into play, and start actually implementing it. That will enable us to grow at a much more exponential rate today, is what I would like to say. And apart from that, if people have anything, I would just like to add that kuch e-commerce related, if you want to get on a one-on-one with me, I'm more than happy to help. My LinkedIn is available. So we can chat, because it's going to be very personalized. Uh, to your business or to your idea. So, and today's session was more of a generic on AI.
Got it. That's very generous of you to say, Nakash. Like, thank you for opening a door for the audience to reach out to you via LinkedIn. Um, with that being said, and you also mentioned that, students or someone you don't have to have a business to get started using AI. You can just start with automating little day-to-day basis, whatever tasks you have on your plate, you can automate via AI, and then we
Correct.
can go ahead with
Correct.
the, yeah, sorry, please.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I agree with you. So,
Got it. With that, we now open our room to the audience to shoot your questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. Let me check for the questions if we have any. Yeah, we have a question. Which are the industries that are currently blooming in the e-commerce business, and what would you recommend to get started with?
honestly, I mean, I get this asked a lot as to what industry is booming. Uh, I would say that जो industry में आपका already, if you have good sourcing, then that's where you should enter. Apart from that, I mean, the trends keep changing on every 2 years. Today, it's health and beauty, which is growing. Couple of years ago, kids categories were growing. So ये trends तो change होते रहेंगे. So I suggest that if you want to get into e-commerce, then you start looking at the products that you already have and how can you procure them at the lowest rate because you are competing in an ocean and everybody is going to have a similar kind of product. So ideally, costing of your product is going to matter more when it comes to being on e-commerce today.
Lovely. And I think for trend analysis itself, we can use AI to know
Correct.
which businesses are booming. Um, for a bakery and general store, which AI tool is useful and is Invi helpful?
No, Invi is not currently helpful for bakery industry. We are focused solely on e-commerce. Coming to what tools are useful, I would actually start looking at the bakery softwares that are available today. I'm not very well versed, but there are some softwares like Pet Puja and all which are doing well. I may be wrong, but yeah, so you'll have to start looking at bakery specific softwares in your industry. And I'm sure we have UBCL who can help you with that. And what AI tools you can use, it again depends on the complexity of the task that you want to achieve. So, अगर आपको छोटे tasks है, like you want to start selling on this Swiggy, Zomato, you can use a basic AI to actually beautify your images, write good descriptions of your product. You can ask, what kind of items are most selling on Swiggy, Zomato to give you कि भाई क्या हमें बेचना चाहिए. So yeah, you can use AI to answer these basic questions, do some market research. अगर आपको आपकी bakery operations में if you want to improve it, then you need to start looking at softwares which are bakery specific.
Okay. Now we have someone who's literally started selling on Amazon platform. Just started 6 months back, and so they are getting 6 to 7 orders per day. But which tool would you recommend for such business?
So again, if you've just started, and I would say that you first start scaling to other platforms as well at the same time. You start understanding Flipkart and Meesho as well. And if you're selling apparels, I suggest you start looking at Myntra. Uh, so once you are present on 3 to 4 portals, that will give you more visibility. Second, to scale on Amazon, advertisement is very, very important and it plays a very essential role. So again, you need to start exploring and start learning about ads. There are a lot of ads automation softwares which are available uh, out there in the market. If you can just Google Amazon ads automation, you will come across a bunch of softwares. They are not expensive. They charge about 1,000 rupees a month for a beginner, and they will actually start automating your ads, bid rates, and stuff like that. So that will start giving you visibility, and that's how you can grow on Amazon.
Perfect. That's your way. I mean, moving on to the next question. Is there any freemium AI platform for managing inventory, sales, and purchases for small businesses? It's my own shop. Okay.
There are a
Any
lot of premium softwares out there. I mean, if I think of, there is Zoho, there is Odoo. These are all, they have a free tier where you can just start, and even after the free tier, they don't charge much. They're charging about what, 500, 800 rupees a month, or you can take their annual package for 7, 8,000. So, but their free versions will actually go a long way. So yeah, if you want to start managing your inventory and stock for a retail business, these are some good softwares. There's also I can't think of names on top of my head, but yeah, there are a few out there. I will definitely research and get back to these.
done. And yeah, in the audience, anyone, should you have any follow-up questions, please reach out to Nakash on his LinkedIn, and I'm sure he would be happy to help us. So we have a couple of questions wherein the audience want to try to implement AI, but they have questions around where to get started with. What is the learning platform that we have? Anything that any popular YouTubers or anything that you had followed to get started with?
I think the best platform today that we have access to is this IPN Pathshala, right? Correct me, Kiran, if I'm wrong, but you guys have a lot of free resources that can help Jamaat.
Absolutely.
So that would be a good starting platform, I would suggest. And I am not following any particular YouTuber for AI or learning AI. There are a lot of, I mean, so whenever I want to basically start automating in my personal life or in my business, I actually ask ChatGPT or Claude कि मुझे ये automate करना है. You suggest me how I can do it, and they will actually start giving you an output ki theek hai, these are the things we can do, and then you can evolve along with it. So that is also a good starting point.
Lovely. I think we have someone who has raised his hand. Mr. Hassan, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, hi, Ali Madat. I am Hassan from the IPN Mumbai team.
Hi, Asan.
Firstly, Nakash, thank you very much. I think this was a really interesting conversation. I managed to attend it and I was really happy that I did. So thank you very much for sharing that knowledge out. I just wanted to help you out with that last question because I think that I think people, there is a thing that people understand AI is there to help me, but how it can help me, I don't know. I think
Right,
the easiest way to start is look at the problem it can solve for you. So something that you're not skilled at, say for example, Nakash said he's a businessman, and he lacks the skill of digital marketing or creating creatives or photographs for his products. So you start looking at AI to try and solve that problem for you. Use it as an assistant in order to try and get an edge where you possibly don't qualify in terms of say your experience or skills in itself. That is the first place to look at. The other is you start to use AI to learn things out. So say for example, somebody doesn't know Excel, it can very easily use AI to start learning Excel or analytical skills. Start getting that area of life polished up. And I think Nakash, thank you for bringing IPN Pathshala up. By the way, there is a 2-day webinar series that we had done around the Women's Day. Please do go and watch that. I think the first day will give you a basic of, generally how to get used to platforms or, various tools available there, typically going through the prompt engineering of sorts. The second day actually takes you to a sort of a workshop of, say, initially, setting up, doing the research, identifying or creating your logo, a brand coloring, etc. Trying to get, advertisements or, your product photographs with a model done. All of those sort of small things that can actually automate for you. So hopefully that should be useful. So that's my two pieces. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hassan sir, for highlighting that. I think then this session doesn't end today. We have our way forward, as Hassan sir mentioned already. So yeah. Going back to the question, thank you, Rimsha, for putting the LinkedIn profile of Mr. Nakash. I think that would be important for our audience. Our next question is around some privacy concerns that we have. So the question is, why is there a slow pace of agentic AI adoption in e-commerce industry when compared to the other industries? Is it due to the concerns around customer privacy or any responsible AI effective agentic adoption or in online retail? Is it GDPR? Or what are the concerns around it?
So I honestly am not an expert in the privacy part, if I have to be very fair, but I do know that when you're using these models of AI, the data that you share with them is not private. It is, of course, used for they clearly mention that this data can be used for their research and stuff. So we have to assume that the data that we share is not going to be private. So that could be one of the reasons that why it's not growing. But honestly, I do not have an answer to that question. In terms of privacy, yeah, it's a concern. But we can be smart about it. When we want to use AI, we share things in a generic form, and it does help out. So we can use it to ideate, bounce ideas, and stuff like that. So we don't need to share any personal PII data while using AI.
Okay, lovely. Then that's reassuring for our audience that we don't have to worry about security concerns. We can use AI ethically in our own ways, unless we are thinking of bankrupting or robbing a bank. We don't have to worry about it. Uh, so yeah, we have a few questions around AI tools which can be used in day-to-day life. I think in terms of automating anything, prompt generation, automation, etc. I think that question has been answered. I feel Pathshala is the way to go. Few YouTube videos can definitely help there. And we have a few people who want to explore Invi app. Is there a place they can go and explore, Nakash?
Uh, we don't have a app without subscription. So honestly, if you want to explore the app, then you will have to reach out to our team and somebody will walk you through the demo and see if it's useful to you. Then you can sign up.
Sure. Any other questions, please feel free. I'm going to leverage or I'm going to take an opportunity to ask a personal question from my side. If you were in the place of attendees today, Nakash, and you are watching this webinar, what would be your next action item right after you end this webinar? What would be your first step?
Honestly, I would start exploring the IPN Pathshala. I am not trying to market it, but that's my genuine start point, to be honest. That would be my genuine start point because I know that IPN, there is like this whole AI task force which has been formed. And I know our Imam also wants us to, start adopting technology. And so I think that would be a good starting point. IPN is doing a fabulous job in basically educating Jamaat with AI and bringing out resources related to AI. So that would be my first starting point, actually.
Lovely. And I think someone, Mr. Ashan Lalani, had raised his hand. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hello, Yalan Madad, everyone.
Lalmadal.
Yeah.
If we want to get connect to Invi, how can we?
You have my personal LinkedIn, which is posted here. So just message me there and then we can have a chat.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question is, apps like ChatGPT have the setting of use data for all. So if you turn it off, it doesn't take our data as far as I know. So does it work?
In free models, regardless of what data you put in, it's not going to be secure. So it's always advised to, not share your personal information with these GPT models. I would always be cautious. So yeah, that's how I would take it as.
Lovely. If we list the products on Amazon or other platforms, then how to market our products to get more sales as same products will be selling by many retailers?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and that I have gotten a lot over the 10 years. Scaling, I mean, again, this is a very broad question. You'll have to look at the product or the industry that you're operating in. Yeah, but if you ask me to list down a few generic steps, adds 1 second, you'll have to start understanding the Amazon algorithm as to how it ranks your product. You'll have to start then tweaking your listings based on the Amazon's algorithm. Uh, Also, the product ratings matter a lot. So the pricing matters. Basically, it's a whole bouquet of things that you'll have to do in order to start growing your business on Amazon. Because I understand a lot of people are competing for the same product. So yeah, it is difficult, but if again you start using AI to automate your ads, you start using AI to understand the algorithm and then start generating listings which are SEO enabled, then it's definitely going to give you an edge over other sellers. So yeah, that's where I would start.
And with that, I think we have come up to the end of the questions. Yeah. Before we wrap this up, Nakash, thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of the entire IPN team and our audience, we thank you for sharing this Sunday hour with us and leaving us with so many actionable takeaways. Thank you so much to the audience, to all the attendees who have attended this session, this webinar. I'm sure we all have our own takeaways. And should you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to IPN team, to Nakash. And with that, we wrap up this session. Thank you so much, everyone. Yale Madad.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.